this conversation starts calm and then everything shifts. Let's break it down on Choir Media.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? You can put my
I'm
camera
trying.
on.
Yeah, I'm trying to switch it over right now. It's just a little bit of a lag. So, how are you doing today? What do women tend to get wrong about being high value?
Well, I did hear you talk, and I know that women are feeling really confused because on one hand, we're asked how much debt we're in. Did we go to school? Are we able to take care of ourselves? Do we have our own place? All this stuff. But then on the other hand, we're told that that stuff doesn't matter and it doesn't make us high value. But it's like it kind of does if we don't have debt or we have our own place and we're able to take care of ourselves. I feel like that's kind of like our efforts is kind of being like shit on.
What do you mean? Because I want to be clear. When I asked, I said, it matters. It matters why you did it. Did you watch the first part where I said she decided to go to a private school to become a physical therapist? Mm-hmm. And even she said, don't do that.
Right.
Because it put her in $230,000 worth of debt.
Right.
That has to matter to a man. It has to matter to a prospective husband. Now, it's not the amount of the debt, it's the mindset. See, I want to be clear that I'm on the same page because what I'm kind of hearing from you is like the women can't win no matter what we do.
That's what it feels like sometimes.
Okay. Are we talking about the same kind of men though?
I believe so. We're just talking about the majority, but at the same time, the majority isn't high value. So
right, but so again, I concern myself with men who are high value, who understand that the burden is on them to pay the cost to be the boss.
Right.
Now, the question is, if women want that kind of, they want those kind of options. What do men like that want from their women?
They want them to not be in debt, to be stable, to be able to at least take care of themselves, right?
Nope. They want cooperation. High value men value after the looks component, because attraction has to be there for men because we're visual. After that, cooperation. I'm president, you're vice president.
Okay.
I'm pilot, you're co-pilot. I say we go that way, you say, okay.
I can see that. I also feel like men should choose a woman that they respect and value her wisdom as well, so that he doesn't feel like there's maybe so much competition or feel like she's talking and she doesn't know what she's talking about. Because I do think, like you said, co-pilot, that's a partner. So I do believe men need to pick partners that are smarter, and I think that a lot of men just based off of how
now we need to be clear on now. I don't like the word partner. You're an assistant. Mike Pence does not ever try to usurp Donald Trump's authority. That's one thing. So partnership, if you listen to my content, I believe a woman should be feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. And that is a part of being feminine that only a woman or a father can do. Inspire a man to become greater than he normally would have been. That is part of being feminine. So there is a feminine wisdom that comes through there, but only when a woman is in her femininity can she really inspire a man. You can't inspire me by trying to say, run harder, push, climb. That's not your job. That's dad or coach.
There's a way, and like you said, inspiring, and there's a wisdom. And if a man can respect a woman's wisdom, then she can inspire him in the right way to build his empire beyond what he could have even done by himself.
You've said the word respect several times. Why is that important?
Because I do feel like a lot of men don't respect women's roles as much as they respect theirs. I feel like a lot of men
let's go down that path.
I feel like a lot of men make money and they feel like, okay, money gives me respect, But as a woman, you making money doesn't give you respect. So you just need to make money and take care of yourself. But I'm not going to give you any respect for that. But I'm making money and I need respect for that. And I need
Well,
this.
all right. So what I need to. So here's what I need you to. If I heard you correctly, you feel as though men value their roles and responsibilities is more important or supersedes a woman's roles or responsibility.
Yes, they don't respect our role, which is why a lot of women want to make money.
Hold on. Okay, but that's true. My role as a man is far more important than yours.
Well,
because listen, I allowed you to speak.
Okay.
Let me go ahead. Women don't build. Women nest.
So is that not important? Is each role not equally important?
No, it's not. No, not as equally important, because if it was, you could show me some place in nature where women individually could survive on their own without the group.
Okay.
The female is always dependent upon the male. See, in a state of nature, a woman's ultimate purpose on the planet is a man.
Is that true? Aren't there bugs that like kill the man or something like that? I mean,
okay,
do they
really... All right. So if we're going to do this, I'm going to try to speak to the not the anecdote, not the Black Widow. We're going to just speak to the greater. There are always, the exception doesn't disprove the rule. But let's say you have an egg, but my sperm. You have one, I have many. Your job is to take the sperm, the egg, incubate, and make baby. I give, you multiply. We build, you nest. So without the ability, there is no nesting without the first building. So, and that's one of the fundamental disconnects today is women, and it sounds as though you think we're equals.
I don't feel like we have equal roles, but I feel like our roles are equally important.
They are. They have importance, but
yes.
But as far as the equality, see, if you and I, we could have the rip roaring debate all we want to, but if you and I were laying in the bed and a bump went off in the night, it's my job to get up and go deal with that.
Right, that's part of your role. At the same time, it's part of a woman's role to make sure you have peace and to make sure how to.
Let me finish. But the thing is, one role supersedes the other. I have to be willing to die for a woman. You just have to be willing to follow a man.
But saying you're controlling our lives.
Now that's the thing about the thing about high value men don't control anything.
Well,
high value men, what we do, we don't control anything. We just tell you what we are not going to deal with, and you can choose whether or not you want to be there.
Well, that is controlling.
It's not controlling. It's an option. You don't have to be there. You have a choice.
I understand that, but that's not really giving someone an ultimatum. It's basically saying it's my way or the highway.
It's not really. No, ma'am. It's no, ma'am. It's not. If you don't like the job, you go find another job. You're not a slave.
That's what I'm saying. We're not a slave. So
fine. If you don't why
are we being treated as?
Okay, we're talking about generalities. Look. Men, okay, where's a civilization that women have ever built, created, and run?
Where's the civilization that men have?
No, women.
Oh, I don't know.
They haven't. See, and that's part of the issue.
Our role isn't to build. Our role is to nurture.
Right, but one comes before the other. Without the building, we would still be tribes. We would still be living in caves and nomadic. We would have to follow the food sources. But when men started to collaborate together, we started society. This is anthropological and sociological. This isn't new. Human beings have learned how to see. One of the things I think, Janae, is interesting. Human beings for thousands and thousands of years have learned how to do this. But in the last 70, we want to flip everything on its ear and say that, well, you and I are equally important. And that was never in question before. But at some point, who leads?
Well, hopefully the men.
Why is there hope?
Because a lot of men aren't leading, or even leading properly. But hopefully the men.
Okay.
And
So when you say
we
a
have to
lot of
choose
men
who
aren't
we-
leading, if you okay, that's two tracks. I deal with men who are high value men who are leading properly because they have the receipts to show in their life. They're doing just fine with what they're supposed to be doing. But the men who aren't leading properly, why do they have women?
because there's not that many high value men to go around.
Okay. Well, if you want a high value man, then you have two choices. You have several choices. You either can compete to get one, which he's going to give you your options. And do you want to compete to get one? And if you get one, it's going to be competitive. Can you get one and secure one? If high value men are the only options, then you have to do what it takes to get one of those. Or what are the other options? Not have a high value man?
Yeah, that's the other option.
So,
And if it's not, and which most men aren't, and so if that's the case, then men just have to evolve and learn how to.
well, men aren't
because a
having the
lot of-
problem. Men aren't having the problem though. Men, see, society has always been set up for 30% of the men to never have children. Men have always accepted the fact that some would live through life and never reproduce. What society has never dealt with is so many women 30 plus who are unmarried and untethered to anything other than their jobs and their friends. So in Korea,
I think that's smart.
huh? You
I think that's smart.
Okay. Well, if you, how is that smart? Well, let me ask you a question. If you go look in Korea, there ain't no black people over there. It's Koreans. In Korea, the amount of single women is bankrupting Korea. It's crippling the state because the system is not set up for so many women who are unmarried, no children, who are florists, who typically don't have jobs to where they build infrastructure. Women typically take from a society. Men typically build. So whereas you didn't need a large social safety net for men because if men are homeless, men are on the streets, society doesn't care about those. But when women are homeless on the street, then it's a problem. But see, at some point, you have to say who is putting the money or the stuff into the economy that supports all these independent women, and it's still the men.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if you're the freest you've ever been, women in this country are more entitled to, you have more rights, more freedoms, more abilities than anything else, but happiness is through the floor. 25%. Because
I can tell you why.
of course, it's always going to come back to men, though.
They haven't evolved with women.
Well, see, now tell me, and this is where we're going to have a problem, because every time I talk about something that men do, I will let men be responsible. But your points tend to always go back to the men.
Okay, I can take that. I can understand that. I don't mean to do that, but I do see things from a woman's point of view, and so I'm just giving the other point of view, which is just I think that things did evolve and women did change.
What do you mean did evolve? What's the evolution? What's the evolution? Hold on, let me explain what I mean by the evolution. The evolution is women have not evolved. Women have demanded more, but you still expect men to be traditional men, yet the average woman today is not a traditional woman. This is why female dating coaches, female relationship gurus are starting to pull back from working with women, because they can't even deal with women's unrealistic standards when it comes to men. Men are really simple. Men really want sex, sandwich, silence, and cooperation.
Yeah, men are really easy to keep. I mean, men are really easy to keep.
But if that's the case, why are so many women unmarried?
Because I mean, in my case, I break up with my boyfriends because I'm not going to just stay around just because of money, or I just feel like a lot of people haven't worked through their traumas. I know you talk about therapy a lot, and I do too. That's great. A lot of people don't work through their traumas, and they push blame. They don't know how to communicate.
Well, my question though is, why are they your boyfriend?
Because you don't realize that until into the relationship. Like they're good guys and they have a lot of great qualities about themselves.
I disagree. I disagree
But then-
wholeheartedly because when I was broken, I picked broken people. I don't have those problems anymore. I don't have relationships that end poorly now. Even the ones that don't end in marriage, they don't end terribly.
My relationships don't end terribly. That's how I feel. I feel very positive about all my exes. I wouldn't bash them or say anything
But
negative.
I
because-
also understand that women are women and men are men. And at the end of the day, who leads? And only basically what I'm hearing is only a certain kind of man can lead. Only high value men can lead. So basically you're saying 90% of men should do
cannot
what?
lead.
If that's the case, then and here's the thing: if that's the case, and you want a man, you better make sure you're one of the. You better make sure you qualify for one of the 10% that can lead you.
Well, I mean that's most women though. Like I mean,
No,
not all
but
women
I'm
are
saying,
gonna
I'm saying like 1-to-1. I can't deal with most women. See, I accept what you're saying. 90% of men can't do anything. Good. Then you better make sure if you want one, you better qualify for one of the 10%. Know what they want and be the one they pick. Separate yourself from the other women so you can become his wife, his long-term whatever. That's what it comes down to, women who believe what you believe. I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think that we're disappointed and we want men to level up in a lot of ways.
But why do
and
you
I
need
think
to be disappointed if you only think 10% of men can lead? Don't worry about
That's
the 90.
what's
Just say to
disappointing.
those. But see, the question I have is, can you get one of those 10 and keep them?
But that's what's disappointing is I would like more women to be able to have high value men.
But
It's not just
I'm
about
asking
me.
you a direct question. Can you get one of the 10% and keep him?
Yes, I can. That's easy. It's easy to keep a man.
Really?
Keeping a man is easy.
Now,
Yeah,
when I define keep by marriage.
Well, keeping a man is easy. Getting a man to marry you is easy. Do I want to marry him though? Is the question. And is he fit?
No. See, we're bouncing around. So now, see, you blended two things. I don't care about the 90%. I care about the 10% that you said high value and can lead. Let's talk about those. I said, can you get one and keep them? Meaning, can you become one of these men's wives? And what I'm hearing you say is you don't want to be a wife?
No, I'm saying that I can. I'm saying that it's easy.
Do you want to be a
if
wife?
I would. Yeah, I would love to be a wife.
All right. So how many high value men do you have that are prospects that you're the prospect to be their wife?
Well, when you say there's only 10% that are high value, then it's really not that many, is there?
No. I'm not dealing with everybody. You've said it's easy to get. So
it's easy to keep
all right.
a man.
So then you should have no. So you're telling me that you can deal with any group of men. That means you can get into 10% of the high value men, and if it's so easy, then you should have plenty of proposals. Let me finish.
around them all the time.
Okay, but you should have plenty of marriage proposals that you're fielding and turning down.
Well, that is true. I do.
Okay.
But the issue is I see things from a broad perspective of there's not enough men, and even in
I'm not worried. Okay, but Janae, you can only marry one person. I don't see. It doesn't.
Yeah,
make,
but it's not just
but it
about
doesn't.
me,
What you're
it's
saying
about
isn't
all
making
women.
any sense.
Because it's not just about me. It's
but
about all
I'm only
women.
talking about you. See, hold on. When I'm talking, that's the thing. When I talk to women, I talk about them, not all the global issues. It's 1-to-1. And see,
but it's not 1-to-1.
Hold on. Okay, you can't talk over me. You can't do that. I'm asking. You said you have. Are you saying you actually have been proposed to by high value men and you've turned them down?
I'm saying that.
Is that a yes? That's a yes. I just need to know that part.
No, because I've broken up with them before that.
Okay.
They've talked to me about marriage, but I've broken up with them before that.
So why'd you break up with them?
Because they don't have good communication skills, or one was abusive. He ended up being abusive, or.
So why are you classifying these guys as high value men?
Because it's a high value man. As all the points that you had of a high value man, you never said anything about not being abusive. I mean, he had money. He had money for a long time. He had a network. He was a sports broadcaster. He did a whole, but he had all even the attractive level, every pinpoint of a high value man. Everybody thought he was a gentleman. Mm-hmm. He was very sophisticated. He held himself well. Everybody knew him. His name was good in the street.
Okay.
It just months into the relationship, he showed a very abusive side that as soon as he showed it, I had to get out.
Are we talking about physically abusive?
Yeah, physically.
Okay. And then the next one.
And then the next one, that one was more so later. The one previous before that, we were just both too young. I was like 19. He was 21.
You can't be high value at 21.
He was in the NFL.
I don't care. No, ma'am. You can't be high value at 21. The starting line is around 30. See this video, and this is what I'm trying to kind of. That's why I let you kind of explain it. That's why I said what women get so wrong about high value. And one thing that I noticed that women, you'll classify men as high value that don't fit, because everything that I've heard you say is pretty much, these guys over here don't qualify. They need to be more like these guys over here. But even the guys over here, there's something wrong with them too. So at the end of the day, ma'am, it always comes down to there's something wrong with men.
Yes.
And that's correct. And again, you're free to have that, but that means you're going, no, ma'am. No, I can't. No, not on this channel. Because that's the same. No, man. No, I'll let you speak. That's the same thing K. Michelle tried to pull. The men are bad people. If something's wrong with all the men, we attracted what we are.
There's not something wrong with all the men. It's
all the men you pick.
No, it's not something that's just wrong with all men. I mean, obviously you can't just say me, because there's a lot of women.
No, but I'm only talking about you. I'm talking about the men in your world, because again, I don't worry about all. See, we can't talk about things that we haven't lived. You've said that these guys over here aren't capable of leading, and the guys over here that are capable of leading, there's something even wrong with the ones I'm picking.
There's something wrong with them, yeah.
All right, well, if that's the case, my question is this: who is helping you vet through these men, since you seem to be able to attract these guys who are high value, but there tends to be something wrong with them down the pipe? Who's assisting you with vetting them so you don't do that anymore?
I don't have anybody helping me. I mean, I would like somebody to help me, but I don't have anybody to help me.
Well, that will be wise, because because if you're going into this with a good faith argument, you can't. There has to be something to say. Well, you know what? Maybe there's something wrong with the way I'm evaluating things. This is why therapy is always.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I did hear you say that women should basically go to college to find a man. But if we're going to college to find a man, then wouldn't that man be in his 20s? And so wouldn't he not be a high value man?
You misunderstood. Well, first of all, every woman doesn't want a high value man. So you're confusing things.
I didn't know
you
that.
basically said you need a high value man. And my thing is, if you need a man in the top 10%, but here's the question. And if you need a man in the top 10% and you can attract them, you seem to be attracting ones that don't sound high value. They sound high value but either way, you're not really getting the outcome. So someone to help you sort through that. But let's assume you did have someone to help you sort through these high value men. What do they want from you?
They want peace of mind, and a helpmate.
Okay.
Good sex, probably. I mean,
Okay.
the regular.
Not the regular. I mean, these are elite men.
I mean, to me, it's like you said, guys are simple. So it's
I know men are simple. High value men are a special breed. They all the stuff you're talking about comes, peace. They don't deal with conflict.
Right.
So my question is, do you know what men in this category of men really want from a woman that they would marry? So if you did run across a man who hit all your high value marks and they weren't abused, I mean, all the negative stuff that you say, if he was the man,
mm-hmm.
why should he pick you over the other 99 women in front of him?
Because besides all the stuff you said is basic, I am actually intelligent, and I know how to help inspire him to grow his empire.
Okay, so how would you communicate that to him in just an open dating setting?
I think we would just talk about maybe his ambitions and where he's taking himself. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of happens.
Well, and what I'm trying to kind of show you is you know what you want. And you can definitely say what you don't want. But what you seem to have a trouble articulating is how to give somebody who you would want what they want.
Okay.
And that tends to happen oftentimes with women because it's all about you. It's like, I want this, I want that, I need this, I need that. I hear you. And there are men out there who have that and more. Why would they pick you over the rest of the competition?
I mean,
that's the question that all women have to answer. Huh?
I said what it is. Whenever I say it's my intelligence or what I have to offer, how I want to build with a man, or how I want to.
Well, understand now. I need to now. So when you say how do you want to build, what does that mean?
I mean, I have very big goals and dreams. I don't have regular ambitions. I'm not a 9-to-5er. I like business, and I have a lot of business ideas and things I like to invest in, and so
do you have any real fair question, do you have any ideas? Are great. Do you have any actually business acumen and accomplishments in that feat in the business world?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
I will say most high value men are not looking to marry a wife.
And see that's exactly like it's like you ask me that, and then you say that you guys aren't interested in that. So it's
hold on. Slow down. Okay, you can't overtalk me. What I'm showing you is you don't seem to realize who high value men. I'm telling you what high value men and fit in the category of the kind of men you're talking about, what they want from their women, and you cannot be upset that they don't want what you bring to the table. They don't care.
Okay,
that's nice.
So what do they want? Like,
but see, that's that. And see, but Janae, but see, that's the thing. And thank you for asking. If you want one of those men, you need to get curious about who they are and what they want, and see if you can bring it to the table. It's not my job to go translate what these men who are out there doing what it is you say you want.
Okay, so I would like to know what do they want from what do they?
Well, one thing that they want is cooperation. One thing that they want is cooperation. High value men across the board want cooperation, and that comes in a myriad of different ways. But they also expect their women to play the background. They don't want their wife to be up there trying to build with them. Having ideas is great. This is what oftentimes you see men who are truly high value. What do? Their wives will start their own business or their own company or their own pet project, right? Why do you think that is?
So that they're not involved in the same project. They don't have the same.
So they're out of their freaking way. So they can go over here and the wife can use her but that's better for instead of trying to go over here and build. But what you said is you have big goals, big dreams, and big ambitions. That's fine. But a high value man is not looking for a woman who's, as long as you can facilitate those dreams and ambitions on your own income, you'll have too much time. That means what's going to become your motivation, him or your ambitions?
See, so I'm confused on what you guys want. Like, it's so weird. So you don't
we want you to be a helpmeet. We want you to be a helpmeet. We want you to be a helpmeet. We want you to be what females traditionally are, because so many women in general are used to talking about guys who cannot get it done. And that's what you've become accustomed to dealing with, that when you run across men who can get it done and don't need you to do anything else, due respect, Janae, you may be an intelligent woman and have everything you have to offer, but I need a CFO and a CIO or somebody that I can hold to the task, that the board can hold to the task, that the shareholders can hold to the task. I'm not going to use nepotism when my career, my legacy are on the line. I got plenty of people I could put in that job, but you got hundreds, thousands of people that are relying upon this decision. And men, high value men, need women to understand that, number one, you will always come a distant second to his purpose.
Okay, so so I'll ask more questions. What makes a high value man find value in the woman that he's with if the things that you're asking for are so...
Because he values women. He values a lady. He values a woman, but a woman is not a man's equal. See, the value
So
a value a man has in a woman is in her femininity, her beauty, her cooperation, her submissiveness, her elegance, her sophistication, her way of being softening to his harder edges. This is why you see the first lady typically put in front of the country on different kinds of initiatives versus the president. Because men have to get in there and be rough and tumbled. Men don't want to sit around and have to debate with women. That's an arena for men. And see that now the thing, my question is there any value in being a high value man's woman if that's, because it seems to me like that would be kind of constricting for you.
yeah, I really wouldn't want to feel like I'm somebody's slave. Like I just got to
Well,
be a yes woman.
you use slave, but slaves don't have, I mean, so basically women who have a high value lifestyle are slaves. So that's cool.
I'm kind of like Trump's wife.
Well, again, but there are more women than Trump's wife. So by extension, if you don't want that, because then you open yourself up to what? It sounds like you want
being controlling.
No, it sounds like what it really sounds to me is you want to. It sounds to me as though you want a non-traditional, a very fluid kind of relationship, and guys like that tend to not be very ambitious, not very motivated, and don't.
No, I like really ambitious men.
Okay, but again, ambitious men tend to be cut from the same cloth. That's why success has a template. See, what I'm hearing from you is modern woman, and that's fine, but modern women want men to be traditional men.
We don't have a choice.
No, ma'am, that's bull. You have a choice. You do have a choice. You do have a choice. You do no ma'am. You have a choice. You just don't like the choices.
Well, the choice is go to school, get into debt, find a man while you're young, and then just do whatever he says, and hopefully you pick the right one.
How many high value men do you know their wives?
Do I know their wives?
How many high value wives do you know? How many women do you know that are married to high value men?
I know a few.
Okay, do they talk like they're in prison? Be honest.
I mean, sometimes.
Ma'am, come on. I'm not talking about the nuance. In general, do they sound like their lives are miserable?
I said sometimes.
Okay, well, that's the human condition. If you can get 80% of what you want, Janae, you want. Here's the thing. One of the problems with us as human beings is we tend to want more than we bring to the table. That's what Rebecca Lynn Pope, a matchmaker, was saying. I don't begrudge you for wanting what you want. I just hope you can bring equal or more than what you want to the table.
Well, what's equal or more than what I want?
Well, you have a lot of different parameters. I hope you bring as many parameters and options to a man that he finds appealing.
Like what?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I'm not dating you. But what I'm saying is you want a unique kind of high value man that really does not exist, because the traits that make you high value, you seem to find somewhat troubling or offensive. That yes, he's going to expect to be in control. He's going to expect to lead. And that's what it's going to be. He's not going to go out and be the CEO of an organization and come home with you and negotiate on things that he's already decided. He will take your input. He values his wife's input. But see, what it sounds to me is, though, that's not enough.
No, valuing the input is enough, but don't come in and just say, demand this is that. I don't want to hear this. Like, have respect for my.
But see, but the way you've come at this is the implication is there's already there's no respect from a man, which seems as though, due respect, ma'am, it sounds like you have an issue with men in general as a species.
I mean, not all of them, because I'm friends with a lot of. Friends with a lot of men.
But being friends with them and cooperating with them and building a life are two different things.
Yeah, because I do feel like guys are very, sometimes, especially when they make money, they feel like, and if you're young and they're older, they feel like they know everything, and you're young and you need to just sit down and shut up. And they don't really
What
respect
are we talking
your
about?
wisdom
Hold on.
because
Okay.
they feel like you don't
Okay.
have
Hold on.
wisdom.
Hold on. What are we talking about? If you're young and they're older, they know more about what?
Just everything in life. I've dated a guy when I was young, maybe when I was like younger, and he was 10 years older than me, and it just seemed like everything I said, he was like, you don't know, you're young, and you don't really know, and he always just kind of like belittled me or kind of silenced me.
But the
shut me
thing is,
down.
again, one man, it's not all men. You sound like you have an issue with men. And that's because you talk about men and you'll go back to one experience. There are more of us out here. And have you ever had, how about this? Have you ever had good, healthy relationships long-term romantically with the man that ended well?
Yeah, I would say they were. Yeah, I mean, sometimes no, sometimes
No. I mean, the relationship was good, healthy, and it ended well. You have nothing but great things to say about the guy outside of just.
I mean, if that's the case, you should marry that person, right?
No.
Well, how are you going to have a good,
Because
healthy, happy
because sometimes it just doesn't fit. Because in Western romantic relationships, sometimes the chemistry is just not there. Modern women want it all, and the thing is, every man cannot be a problem.
Well, if the chemistry is not there, then that's
yesterday you also talked about looks and this and that. And at the end of the day, let me just put it down to you this way. If other women are figuring it out, why can't women like yourself?
I think that sometimes people just get lucky and
No. Okay. So do you talk to the women who got lucky and figure out how to be lucky like them?
I can talk to more. I can talk to more of my friends who have. Yeah.
All right. So
I mean, but they just got lucky. Like I have one friend and she found him off of a dating app.
Well, again, high value men really don't deal in luck. Success is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of work. And again, I asked you talked about being a high value man's wife as almost like it's a prison sentence, like you're in a gilded cage. And I mean, and honestly, that's really prevalent, especially in a lot of, womanist, feminist kind of language, that we're equals, this and that, and that is fine in an argument or a debate, but in a relationship, if you want a driven, ambitious, alpha kind of personality man, you're going to have to be a feminine, beta kind of woman.
A beta woman?
Yes. What does beta mean?
Beta just seems very pushover. And
dear, I gotta be honest. Beta is just second in command. See, every time I say something that's just not in charge, you find just oh my God.
It's not that it's not in charge. It's just that I'm not going to be looked at as like I'm lesser than, or I don't.
Okay, well, let's get to the rubber meets the road. You are. Listen, no offense, but honestly, you can have all the opinions you want, right? Can you actually subdue a man physically?
So because I'm not sure.
I need you to understand. No, ma'am. I need you to understand something. The reason, if you don't want to do the exercise, we can't. But see, you can have the attitudes you are, but at the end of the day, men are physically stronger than you, larger than you, have more hand strength than you. And women cannot survive individually in the world alone. You need a group. Men can survive by ourselves. And see, it's like today, so many modern women really have a problem with the fact that you are the weaker vessel. You are the feminine.
We're physically weaker,
yes,
but we're not
are.
weaker. That doesn't make us
you
weaker.
are. Okay, where are women stronger than men?
Well, emotionally, as soon as you guys get your heart broken once, you guys are done with all bitches and bitches ain't shit and blah blah. And we get our heart broken over and over and over and abused over and over and over.
Okay, Janae, that is subjective. Show me where. Hold on, man.
This is the
Hold on, man.
majority,
Okay,
though.
no, man. Let's go through. Where have women? When they're head to head with a man? Where have women when a woman wants to, let's say, become a firefighter? Can women can carry 200 pounds of dead weight?
No, women are not equal to men in strength.
Women are not equal. How about this, Janae? Women are not equal to men, period. And that's okay.
But that doesn't make you guys better than us, or that doesn't make you guys.
Okay, it does.
No,
It does in this sense. If you want a world,
it makes you stronger.
no. It does in this sense. If you want a world to where you're equally valued, build it. No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you from going.
The world is already built, so I mean,
no,
I guess
ma'am, no, ma'am. You can go out and compete. Okay, see, but you tell men to get out here and compete too. You can go out into the same world. There's plenty of. You can go out and buy land. You can go out and you can go build Amazonia.
Well, and that's what women are doing, and that's what I'm saying.
But are they doing it without complaint?
Of course, we're complaining about it.
Well, then it's not worth. Okay, so let me get this right.
We don't.
No, ma'am. Let me get this right. You don't want the world that men built. You have the ability to build your own world, but you're going to complain while building it. What you're showing is you can't make women happy, so why try?
What do you mean you can't make women happy?
Because you're not happy. You're not happy in the world that you're not happy in the world. You're not happy in the world that men built.
No, we're not.
Then go build your own world.
We're trying to do that.
Where?
Okay, like with what you guys call the whole feminist movement. Like we're trying to build it. That's why we're getting better jobs, and that's why we're making more money, and that's why we're trying to buy land.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, who's trying? What are the two largest employers of black women?
I don't know.
The federal government and retail.
Okay.
What are you going to build with income from federal government or retail?
Okay, well then women just need a better guidance on
No. See, this is where it comes down to. If you want to be equal, you got to get out here and compete with us. And see, men understand we got to compete. If you want to be treated as equal, you're going to get out here and have to beat men. And we're not going to take it easy on you. We're going to compete against you just like anybody else, because what you're saying is what we've done isn't good enough. So you need to go do better.
No, what we're saying is
give me what I want my way, how I want it, like a spoiled, petulant child. That's how a lot of women come across. Like, I want what I want.
But here's the thing: you men didn't build. You men that are acting like you guys built this, you guys didn't build anything. Like,
excuse me,
your past fathers built.
You men didn't build. Whoa! You men. Oh, now you sure you want to go down this path?
Okay, but you guys are demanding all this stuff?
I'm not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. See, men like myself don't demand anything from women. I don't demand anything. I don't demand. I tell you what I want and what I will and won't accept. I don't demand anything.
That's demanding.
No, it's not. How is it demanding?
Yeah,
giving you a choice is demanding? How?
Yes.
So if a waiter comes, so let me get this right. If Janae went to a restaurant and said, okay, what tonight, man, we have chicken, we have fish, and we have steak. Oh, you're demanding that I eat those? What about the vegetarian dish? Or what about the vegan dish? You don't have beef, you don't have lamb. No, man, we have chicken, steak, pork. Well, I need a congressional hearing. These are the choices. You don't like what's in this restaurant? The restaurant that sells the vegetarian restaurant's down the street, but I don't like their food. Okay, man, but this is what we have on the menu. Choose.
No, this is more so what you're saying we have chicken or get out. That's
no. What I'm saying is, okay, so you don't give men choices?
Yeah.
Careful.
I mean, I have my boundaries.
Careful.
I have my boundaries.
Careful. So you're demanding.
I have my boundaries.
So you're demanding.
I might be a little demanding.
Okay, so it's all right for you to be demanding. Why?
Because I also am very understanding.
No. We haven't asked whether or not the men who had these demands, whether or not they were understanding at all. Just the demands by themselves were automatically invalid. See what it
Yeah,
is
it's
you
my way
what
or
it
the
is,
highway.
Janae, is women like you want a world that you did not build. You want to take the control of the world we built because it ain't good
But I
enough
didn't
and
build
it
it
doesn't
either.
work the way you want it to work. And then when women get in a position of power, you don't make it better. Name me any city.
That's true.
Let me name me any city that's led by women that has flourished.
I mean, in city, but hasn't Queen Elizabeth been and I mean, wasn't she
Oh,
like?
do you really? I mean, I'm good at history, and I don't think you want to do that.
I don't know. History's not my thing. Math is my
Okay,
thing.
that's why I said
So
I don't want to. But here's what you're showing at the end of the day. You're really wanting, and that's what I said. I hope you're willing to bring as much to the table as you're demanding.
I am.
And then and then if that's the case, Janae, you should be overflowing with proposals from viable high level men to be their wife.
You have to make sure you're in those positions and you're in those places, but
No.
sure, at the same time, like you're saying something, but then you'll turn around and say that only 10% of men are high value.
No,
So it's like,
but the thing is, ma'am, I'm not. It doesn't matter if only
and why are
10%.
aren't most of those guys married?
No,
Or,
no, no.
like,
Okay, see the question. See, every time
And
I
why
talk,
are you
every time
happy?
I talk about you go to disqualify and go vague, and see that's problematic.
I don't know how it's problematic.
Well, it's problematic because you take it off of specifically you and you go back to something vague and nebulous, and I won't argue that.
Because it's not just. Because
Well,
it's not
it
just
is. I
about
mean,
me.
what city do you live in?
About me. I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas, the seat of power in Texas. I lived in Austin for a short period of time. The Silicon Valley of the South. Lots of successful, high-value men there in politics. You should have no problem attracting a high-value man and becoming a high-value man's wife because that is the seat of power of the largest state in the union.
That's true. Austin's very there's a lot of white men. That's not really
Okay,
my type.
so
I mean, I do need to open up and
oh,
expand
but
my
hold
whole
on. Let me be honest. If you have a problem with what high value black men are offering or asking, I don't know if you're really going to want to hear what Brad is asking for.
I don't really like Brads. They don't attract
But
me.
you said you
I'm
need
not
to
gonna
open
like
up. Okay,
them. I
Brad.
say I do need to open up and try to date other races.
So
of
what would
men.
you date if you didn't date a white man?
Hispanic.
And
some kind of Latino.
Hispanic men earn less than black men. You pick the one group that earn less than black men.
Well, then that's unfortunate. I don't know, biracial. I don't know, like
No,
something else.
and here's the thing.
I'm just not interested
And what
in
you
white men.
and what it's going to come down to, ma'am, is at the end of the day, high value men across any race are going to still have the same requirements. And see, what you're saying is ultimately your particular way of thinking doesn't line up with what high value men want. And that's unfortunate if you want a high value man. They're not going to pick you, and you don't want to compromise with what they want.
Well, if they're a high value man and they're still single and they're over 35, there's probably something wrong with them.
Oh, now we go with that stuff. We're just talking about you. See,
Well, we're talking about me, but
no, because see that assumes
obviously
again
if they're single,
what?
there's something wrong with them.
Excuse me?
So, have you
Excuse
ever
me?
thought about maybe what's wrong with them? Have you
No,
ever
no,
thought
no, no.
about
Again, a typical deflection tactic in an argument is to go back to the general. You basically pull that out of the air. If they're over 35 and they're single, that has nothing to do with you. But
it does,
No, it
though,
doesn't.
because
No, it
if
doesn't.
you're out
Okay.
there-
All right. So here's the thing. I know it typically makes an argument easier to digest when the issue is always out there, not right here. All you can control is your attraction level to the kind of men you say you want.
Mm-hmm.
And they exist.
If there's not enough choices.
No.
then
Do they exist?
Yeah.
Then
Hopefully.
No. They exist. Then the problem is, and you're in a place where they exist. You're not in Anchorage, Alaska. You're in Austin, Texas. You not only know they exist, you have access. Then you should have no real issue if you what they want in getting one.
Okay, and also when you say access, where do you meet these people at for you to say there's access? Because I go to
access meaning the fact that you're geographically located where they are.
But just because you're geographically located where they are doesn't mean that they're
Well,
out.
Janae, I hate to break this to you, but what you want is rare. So if it's going to inconvenience you or be a little difficult, so be it. You don't want one of the 90% of guys out there. You want one of the top 10%. So you got to go see, that's the thing. That's what so many women don't want to do. They don't want to have to compete. And this is what, let me finish and say, I'll let you go. This is what a lot of femininity instructors, especially when they're talking about this level up kind of stuff, they'll often talk about, you're going to have to scrutinize yourself from head to toe, inside and out. You're going to have to get real about your ideal man. You're going to have to invest heavily into breaking into that society or doing whatever. You're going to have to educate yourself about that man's world, and you're going to have to take action. See, that's outside of the fitness and the beauty component. And that's a lot of damn work. Mm-hmm. And if you're not willing to do those things, that's your choice. But you're not going to say, take me as I am and come knock on my door and find me when your competition is willing to do all that.
Okay. No, I understand. I didn't say knock on my door and find me. I'm saying that, like, I'm in Austin. It's very white populated. I go to
you can move.
Nice places.
You can move. You're not a slave. You can move.
I thought about that.
Okay. And that's what I ultimately tell women that follow me. You have choices. You're the freest group of women that have ever lived, the most educated, you can do whatever you want to. If you don't get what you want, it's because you chose not to go make it happen.
Or it's not offered, but sure.
No, and it's not supposed to be offered. It's supposed to be gotten. See, you don't supposed to offer me a success. I'm supposed to go make myself a success. See, this is what so many of our women, so many of our black women, they don't want to go out there and compete. Becky will compete. Maylene will compete. Marisol will compete. They will compete for them. Anu will compete. They will get out there and compete. They will move. They will do what they have to do. That's why they have their ass in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're taking wheatgrass shots and drinking water. And come on, sis, come on. And I'm just telling you, basically, you need to go know what the kind of man you say you want. What do they want? And you can't even really tell me, because it sounds to me as you spent more time fairly understanding what it is you want. But you got to get curious about what men want, because they're not just going to take whatever you think. They have wants too.
Right. I mean, do they think about what women want?
Yes. No, honestly, here's the truth. They don't have to think about what women want, because women want them and they want their purpose.
Well, men want women too.
Yeah, so, but see, the thing is, when you're the reality, here's the reality. When you're a high value man, you always have plenty of women trying to get after you. You can be a beautiful.
Yeah, but are they valuable though? Besides sex, besides their looks, are they smart?
Let me answer the question. The valuable ones make themselves known. If you're truly valuable, it's only a fool that hides that.
But
if you're truly valuable, you make it known. It's only a fool that hides value.
But when a woman knows she's valuable, she doesn't let a man just run her. All of a sudden, it's a problem.
Again, you asked about high value men, and I answered the question. If you are what they want, you are foolish for not making it known. Hey, I'm here. And you keep going back to men that don't work.
I know a lot of high value men, a lot of older men who are very, very wealthy, and they are still having problems finding a woman because they have this mindset.
I'm sorry, but here's the reality. We're not talking about them and the ones you have problems with. That's not the
God.
point. The point
Are
is
we talking about what,
you.
you're talking about 1%?
Yes.
We're talking
No,
about
no,
this
no.
1%
We're
of
talking.
all?
No, we're talking about why you say you want something and why you can't find it or get it.
Just like the rest of these women.
No, 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 ma'am. I'm not dealing with the rest of the women.
Saying
We're
they can't
talking
find what
about
they
you.
want.
We're talking about you. What do
Of
you
course.
want? Here's the question, Janae. Simple question.
It's a lot easier
Let me make it real simple.
Woman.
Let me make it real simple. What do you want and what are you willing to do to get it?
You want me to answer that question?
That's what life comes down to. What do you want and what are you willing to do to get it?
Do you want me to answer the question?
Yes,
or?
I'm waiting. I mean, I've said yes twice. What do you want and what are you willing to do to get it?
I mean, I told you what I want, and I'm willing to go to events and do all that stuff and go find that. Go and put myself in positions to find the type of guy that I want.
Okay.
Now, my qualm is
No, let me
that-
finish. Now I have the follow-up question.
Okay.
You may want an A in class, but if you're only going to do C-level work, you can't complain that you don't get an A. So whatever your qualm is, I got to look at your effort. You're just willing to show up. And you expect an elite level man.
What do you mean I'm just willing to show up?
I'm willing
You
to
just-
go to events.
Yes, to show up
Hold on.
and
Let me
show who I
no.
am.
Let me
I already
finish.
told you
Let me
everything I have
finish.
to
No, ma'am.
offer.
I listened to what you said. I'm willing to go to events, put myself in place. You're willing to go and be, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Hold on. But see, the thing is,
I can showcase.
hold on,
what
ma'am. You can't
who I
overtalk me.
am, and I
You can't
can
overtalk
go to
me.
those
I'm trying not to mute you, but you can't overtalk me. See, that's the extent of what you're willing to do, and I accept that. But there's a handful of high value men, and there are 4 times the women. 10% of men are wanted by 20% of women. That means there's at least 2 to 1 before marriage.
I feel like I can't.
So
I
let
feel
me
like I
fin-
can't
let me
win.
no. What you can't do is your competition is willing to do more than that. See what you didn't.
Okay,
so what you did not.
what
What you
are they
did not
willing to do?
say is.
Because-
What you did not say is. You know what? I'm willing to go learn and understand what these men want, and I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to get what I want. I'm willing to be Becky, Marisol, Marlene. I'm willing to go put in the effort of a champion because you want a champion level man. You just want to show up, and that's fine.
No, I gave you. Okay. The reason why I said I wanted to do that was because you just said, we just had a conversation about putting myself in those positions. So I said, okay, I'm willing to put myself in those positions. I've already told you what I have to offer. So there was no reason to repeat that.
Well,
so I'm saying I'm going to take what I have to offer.
Okay,
and I'm going to put myself in those positions.
This has been a good back and
because
forth, but I will say this. I will
already take care of myself.
hold on. We're almost at 1 o'clock. I do thank you for coming on. It's been a good back and forth, but I will say this to wrap it up. If that's what you're willing to do to get what you want, if you don't get the outcome, it is your responsibility. It's not because you didn't have the chance. That's how this world works. If
What do you mean because I didn't have a chance?
Well, if what you just articulated was the extent of what you're willing to do and all the other stuff. And the thing is, if that's what's being offered, and if he decides to pick someone else, then you had a shot at it. And if you don't get it, it's not as though they didn't exist. And see, this is a hard thing for a lot of women to really accept. If you don't get what you want, it's not a problem with the men. Maybe you just weren't good enough.
What do you mean? What if the guy wasn't there? What if he doesn't exist? Why are you just trying to
they
blame
exist.
women?
Because I already gave you the example of what are you willing to do. I'm willing to show up. That means you showed up and go to the places where you know they are. They're there. And you didn't. And what are you willing to do to separate yourself from the crowd? See, if we talked about going to college and I said, what are you willing to do to get into Stanford or Princeton or Harvard? You would be willing to do far more than just to get into junior college because because you're going to have a greater return.
It's guaranteed, and there's going to be.
But that's the thing. See, that's the thing, sweetheart. There are no guarantees in this. There are no guarantees. There, all experience love and war. There are no guarantees except one thing: you get out of life what you put into it. And if you're not willing to compete for a high level elite man, you cannot fault the fact that you don't get one if you have a shot at it. But thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on.
All right, bye bye. You know, guys, she made some points. I mean, everybody's not going to agree. And ultimately what I'm saying is we get nowhere always putting it out there. Nothing's guaranteed in love. And if you're not going to really compete for the quality of woman you say you want, or the quality of man you say you want, what are you going to do? We're almost 1 o'clock. I think that was kind of long. I know some people were wanting us to go back and forth and yell and this and that. Nah, I don't need to do all that. Shout out to Janae. She's a good sport. Let me see what's going on with some of these super chats and things. And see, are you guys doing well? Let me make sure we get this all wrapped up. You know, one of the things that I will say that I found kind of troubling or problematic is the notion that if a man gives you options, that those are demands. I'm like, how do you square that circle? You know, a man giving you saying, hey, I don't date a woman that has a Facebook account or an Instagram account. That's not him telling you have to get rid of a Facebook account or an Instagram account. He's just saying, I won't kick it. I don't deal with women like that. But here's what a lot of women want. Well, if I get rid of my Facebook and my Instagram, are you going to marry me? No, that's not how this works. I just don't date women to do that. You can choose to do or not do. And see, here's the thing. There are women who are willing to say, you know what? I ain't working on Facebook. Facebook ain't making me no money. Is Facebook and Instagram really worth an opportunity to date this guy? And the net of it is a lot of women access to Facebook and Instagram is worth more than the man they say they want. Think about what I'm saying. I'm not talking about somebody who works on Instagram or Facebook. They're social media experts, social media managers. I'm talking about just deleting your accounts, not disabling, getting rid of. And what I did a broadcast. What are you willing to give up to get the man you say you want? And a lot of women aren't willing to give up anything. So let me go ahead and address this too. Apparently I've been on media takeout. I'm 55 years old apparently, and I'm stealing men's wives. Guys, later on this week or next week, we're going to talk about the sad state, the reality that black men and black women can't do business. You should be, every other race of people can have business meetings with colleagues that are, same sex, opposite sex, without it becoming scandalous. Shout out to the 95 or 99% of you guys that were like, hey man, nice to see a brother and a sister out talking, collaborating. But some of you guys are, I thought she was married and I thought she was this, I thought she was that. Shame on you guys, man. Everywhere in the videos I made, I said, I'm out here with so-and-so and we're out here talking about this. Or I announced a potential collaboration, but some of you guys just cannot. It's sad. It's really sad that no other race of people beats themselves like we did. So let me get this right. Black men and black women cannot have business meetings. They can't mix business. There can't be any interaction. So anytime. So which one? And then the funny thing is, I had guys that sit around talking about, hey man, he look like a gay guy. So which one is it? See, the hot point is.
All right, let's talk about this one. So tonight's caller, no age or weight mentioned specifically, but her mindset That's where the real conversation is. She's basically saying women are told to go to school, avoid debt, be independent, then told none of that makes them high value to men. And honestly, I get why that feels confusing. But here's where Kevin Samuels flips the script. He's not saying those things don't matter at all. He's saying they don't matter the way women think they do when it comes to dating certain men. See, she keeps saying women can't win. Most men can't lead. Keeping a man is easy. But Kevin hits her with the real question. If it's easy, where are the results? And that's where things get uncomfortable because she admits she's dealt with men she considers high value, but one turned out abusive, another didn't work out due to immaturity. So now Kevin's point becomes, is it really all men? Or is it a pattern in who you choose? That's the core of this whole debate. Then it goes deeper. She wants a successful, ambitious man who respects her, but also treats her like an equal partner, Kevin's argument. Those same traits that make a man high value often come with a different relationship dynamic than what she wants. So now we've got a mismatch. Expectations versus reality, preferences versus outcomes. And here's the biggest takeaway. It's not just about what you want. It's about whether what you bring aligns with what that person wants. No one's fully right or wrong here, but this conversation really exposes something. A lot of people are clear on what they want, but not clear on what it takes to get it. That's where the real work is.